Hey everyone, Patrick here. Today I want to show you how I magnetized my Killa cans because most likely you're going to want to switch out the weapons and they give you 4 weapons and 3 models. So if let's say you have your guy equipped with a big shooter, but you don't want him to be equipped with a big shooter, you can take it off and replace it with something different. So I don't like really complex magnetization tutorials. But this one's really easy, so I went ahead and did it for myself, and I just want to show you. So this is regular Killacan. He's all done. I have the shoulder pads on. The weapon is glued, or the close combat weapon is glued in. I've only magnetized this because this is the only thing that can change. But I also have, the backpack on and all sorts of other stuff. So I have another Killacan I have not yet magnetized. Again, the weapon is glued on. I haven't done the backpack yet or the power plant yet, and I haven't. There's a couple other bits I haven't put on. I will be doing that. The one thing that you don't want to put on, just because it'll make your job a little bit harder, are the shoulder pads. So just leave those off for right now. So we're going to be using some magnets, and they're going to be disc magnets, and we're going to be using, of course, you need a Killacan and an arm. Normally, it's just a ball, or it's just a socket, or a ball and a socket, and you just stick it in and you glue it, and you're good to go. But of course, we want to be able to switch. So the end result is pretty nice. You don't really see the magnet from any direction unless you're looking at it head on from right, like sort of under the shoulder pad, and then you can see just a little bit of it. So if you just paint it a little bit black, you're going to be fine. So we're going to be using these magnets. Now they're Magcraft. I always get these brand, and they're little disc magnets, and they are. So you get a box or a tube of 80 of them, and they're NSN0657. So that's a 1/4 inch, 6.4 millimeters, and they're 0.063 inches in length, which is how tall they are, I think. Okay, so let's pop these open. Okay, come on. The child lock is going to defeat me in this video. There we go. Cool. Okay, so they come in these little, I just call them stacks. I'll just take out one of the stacks, leave the other ones in there. So now if you're going to want to magnetize more than one, you're going to want to check the polarity first, so this way all the arms can swap out with every other arm. So it looks like this is the polarity I already have going for me. Now the first part of this is really easy. We're going to get our super glue, and of course, because this is metal, we can't use plastic glue. And you are going to be amazed at how well this fits in here. So here is the socket. Here is the magnet. Let me get rid of this stuff in the background so it just helps the camera to focus a little bit easier. So here's the socket, here's the magnet, and it just slides in like that. Come on. So it's basically a perfect fit, both diameter and depth, and the depth is perfect. So that's what we're going to use. So let me see if I can show you that a little bit better. I mean, it just fits right in there if it can focus. There we go. So it fits one magnet perfectly. So we're just gonna, by doing this, we have the polarity set. We make sure we don't mess it up. So let's just dab some super glue in there. I like using sticky gel glue. You can use whatever you want. And I'm literally just gonna stick the whole stack of magnets in there. I'm just gonna hold it until everything is good to go. So this will just take a few seconds. If you're now, I'm just doing like a super simple video tutorial. I'm not even like pausing or editing it. But if you do have just a few minutes to wait, I would wait. What you can do is you can slide. There we go. Cool. So I slid the magnets off, and you can see how flush this is. Now, if you do have a few minutes and you're not just doing a very quick video tutorial, I would recommend just holding it there with a stack for a few seconds so you just don't mess anything up. But that looks pretty good to me. It's basically flush. It does stick out just a teensy bit. I think I got this one slightly diagonal, but that's pretty much flush. You can't really see it. So let's go ahead, and now we just need to add the same thing on the other side. Now this is, we need to get rid of this little ball because there's no space for it. So to use this other one as reference, let me slide off that stack of magnets. So you can see that I cut off about half of the ball joint. and then I just glued a magnet in place of it. So we're going to cut off about half of this ball joint. So here's the ball joint, and I want all my weapons to sort of have the same orientation, no matter the dreadnought. That way they kind of swap on easily. So I'm going to orient it like this. Cool, just have an image of that in my head. And I'm going to start cutting. Now, if you have something like a miter box or some other like hobby saw, that's preferable to doing what I'm doing because you're going to snap off pieces of plastic. They're going to fly around your kitchen. They're going to go everywhere. But when you lose your hobby saw, then go ahead and use your clippers because it's the only option you got left. I would not use an X-Acto blade, especially for cutting off big chunks of plastic. Now I'm just going to point this towards the ground so that when I do, there we go, it's at least hitting the ground. So that's a little bit, so that's close. Come on, focus. That is close to what we want. I think I can go, I want to go just a teensy bit further. So I'm just sort of filing all this off with my little clippers. That looks close. I think I can get just another sliver off, and I think that'll make it. So if the closer you get to being, the closer you get, the more, the tighter, the less of the magnet you'll see. It'll be a tighter connection, and it'll be more hidden. So it's worth, I just need to get a little bit more here. So this is why you don't want to use your clippers, because they can't really grab something. Okay, I'm feeling better about this. Let me just get my flash tool. I'm just going to smooth this out a little bit. If you have sandpaper, go for that. Might be able to hear the dog walking around in the background. Okay, so now it's basically flush and flat. So let's go ahead and stick a magnet on. Now we want to check the polarity again. So here's our little stick of magnets. And now we're going to check it against this dreadnought. And as I'm checking this, it's hard for me to push this way. So that's obviously the wrong way. And that's obviously the right way. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick a whole bunch of glue on here. Glue, 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 glue. And we're just going to stick it on here. Actually, this is, you know what, I put just a teensy bit too much on here, and I don't want it to like splooge on other magnets. So, there we go. So I'm literally doing this. I'm going to wait for it to dry now. You probably want to wait a few seconds. It doesn't matter if the gun dips or anything like that. As long as it's perfectly flush, so as long as the top of the circle on the gun, hold on, I'm just trying to make sure it focuses on the right thing here. So as long as the sort of the top of the ball is flush with the top of the magnets, you're going to be good. So we're just going to let this dry for a second. And then we're going to give it a test. Oh, you know what we can do in the meantime? So in the meantime, I will show you what this looks like. So I will let this dry. I've slid it off at this end, at the can end. So I will just let this dry right here. It's going to be fine. Cool. And let's just test this. So sweet. Here's the big shooter. The big shooter obviously works just fine. And once you put on the shoulder pads, this magnet will be perfectly hidden. So you won't be able to see anything, and it's going to be awesome. All right, I wouldn't normally rush this, but I hate video editing, so it may be worth it for the sake of not having to do video editing. Cool. All right, so I just pried off the magnets, so I'm just going to put these back in the magnet tube. Now I really don't want to redo this, so if you try this too early, like I'm doing right now, it may rip off the magnet. when you try to put it on the other magnet. So I'm just going to put it on quickly and try not to pry it off right away. That way it just doesn't rip off the magnet. So, and I'm going to test it by sort of putting them together like this. So kind of, I'll just show you. There we go. So that looks like it's holding. So there is my Killacan with the Grotzuka. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and do this 2 more times, not live here, but after I'm done with this video, I'm going to do this 2 more times with the, so I have the big shooter done. This is the Grotzuka. Oh, let's try the Grotzuka. Ooh, okay, so I'm gonna let it dry, which I definitely recommend you do. But shortly after I'm done with this video, maybe after another minute or two, I'm actually gonna try this on the other Killacan. It should be able to fit just fine. So just a teensy bit of work, you can magnetize all of your Killacans. Thanks, good luck, have fun with the Killacans.